And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's your favorite homegirl, E. Reed, your favorite host who loves to smile the most. I'm back, y'all. And you know what? I want y'all to sit back, relax, turn it up, and check this out. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's your favorite homegirl, E. Reed, your favorite host who loves to smile the most. This is another episode of Reality Radio Presents Binge and Rewind. And today I'm talking about RHOA. That's right, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 9. And here we go. All right, so it starts off with Portia's excited for getting her ring back from Dennis. Portia wants to confront Eva for throwing the shade that she gave when she was talking to Candy and Marlo. Kenya is also packing for Toronto because, you know, they all go on a carnival carnival in Toronto. And the ladies all arrive at the airport, and Eva and Marlo are now cordial. They even been talking, you know, one-on-one. And Nene got the invitation, but she's not sure if she actually wants to go. So at this point of the episode, we don't even know if Nene is going to show up, which we all know that she does. But at this stage, when they're all at the airport, we don't know that yet. And Yovana is just as extra as she want to be arriving. She got, you know, the word bitch in the back of her coat, you know, from what she was saying last year I think it was last year when she appeared on the season, you know, talking about where she was at Spelman, I think, or Clark or whatever. No disrespect, but it's Yovana. She's just so extra. And here's what's interesting though, like, I find her extra, and I also find Kenya extra. And we all know Kenya to be extra. What I don't understand is, why do they both have to be on there? So is that what it is? We're going to have two people who are just extra on the show. So because Nene isn't the main extra one, and she having her issues, which we all know about, y'all just going to add Yovana up in there? Like, oh my goodness, but I also don't understand why people don't like her. Now, I know why I don't like her, but I'm curious to know why other people don't. Are you somebody who don't like Yovana? And if you don't like Yovana, why don't you like her? I'm just saying. Do you like Kenya? Let me know if you like Kenya. So anyway, so I just don't understand. So then they get to, you know, to the airport and everything on the other end to Toronto, and Marlo loses her passport, and she suspects that Kenya did it. And then next thing you know, we get to the hotel. They do all the check-in, all that good stuff. And Cynthia, Candy, and Kenya are having a conversation in the room, in one of their rooms. And they're talking about how the blog got the card, or got a copy of what was on the card that Nene sent to Cynthia at her wine opening. And it was word for word, like somebody screenshotted or something, or took a picture of it or something, like whatever, but they sent it to the blog. And so Kenya, of course, she blames Nene for it, and she starts acting all funny and mentions the word snake and stuff like that. And what's funny is that Kenya is accusing Nene, but from what I've been seeing on social media is accusing Kenya. You know what I mean? Like, she the suspect of doing that just to throw some mess up in there, you know, just to stir the pot a little bit. And we all know Kenya can stir the pot. You know, we all know this. And because misery loves company. I'm just saying. But Cynthia, then Kenya brings up the triple date that they all went on that night, you know, in the last episode, and the heated conversation at the dinner table between Kenya and Mark, and which was really awkward to watch. I could only imagine being at the table. I would love to interview them at the same time, you know, like, and just ask them, like, what was it like sitting at the table? Like, what were you really feeling? Like, I'd love to ask them that. But anyway, so Cynthia says that she notices that they don't communicate properly, basically. Like, they both interrupt each other, even though they want the other one to not interrupt them, but they still interrupt the other. Like, it's a common misstep in communication that is definitely fixable if people want to fix it. And Kenya acknowledges that there's a communication problem, but she only acknowledges that there's a communication problem on Mark's end. Like, I feel like she doesn't think she does anything wrong. And I've always felt like that about Kenya. So yeah. Let's see. Then Kenya brings up the whole friendship between Mark and Nene. And Candy, of course, chimes in and says that she didn't understand that either. And I understand where Mark is coming from. Like, oh, she didn't do that to me. But that just goes to prove that he and Kenya are not a team. Which is why he looks at it from that standpoint. They're not a team. So I don't understand why she keeps trying to put a square in a circle. Like, she's really trying to just force the square in a circle hole. Like, I don't whatever. Moving on. So then you got let's see. That's right. Cynthia was in her one-on-one, and then she was like, Kenya's happy ending may not be so happy. And I was just thinking, like, well, yeah, duh. Like, really, like, duh. It was very clear from even before now. I don't know. In my personal opinion, like, for real, she got Britney Spears. Okay? She got Britney Spears. Okay? Well, I forget what old boy's name is that had the kids by Britney Spears and then he got her for all her money. I'm just saying. That's how I look at it. She got Britney Spears. Moving forward. So then the ladies all meet up and they go to a dance instructor to learn some carnival moves so they can learn how to whine. Okay? So Eva's on an exercise ball. Kenya stayed at the hotel because she was caught up in her feelings after the conversation she had with Candy and Cynthia, which is completely understandable. And let's see. Portia is, of course, twerking. Marlo is just all over the place. She just looks lost from what I saw. And then Candy is concentrating so hard. Like, I mean, she admits that she's not a good dancer, but she is just concentrating. Okay. Cynthia was getting it though. But being in love with somebody who loves you back could help you get to that. You know what I'm saying? And Tanya and Yavanna are having, having some fun back there. And so at the end of class, Eva talks to Cynthia about, the update on Snake Gate. And Cynthia doesn't have an update. But Cynthia did decide to bring up and share with her that her and Mike had a conversation about what Kenya has said about Mike possibly proposing the night of the wine opening. And how Mike finds that suspect. And so she said that she wants to bring that up to Kenya. And so next thing you know, surprise, surprise, honey, you got Nene. She pops up. All right. She shows up down in the lobby and gets greeted by Tanya. And, they do their whole little like meet and greet type of situation. And Nene shows up and she appears like she wants to make peace. We all seen previews of what happens next, but I think she went leaving with good intentions. I'll say that, because that's always possible with people, even people like Nene. She is complicated. All right, so then Tanya shares the news that of Nene's arrival. And half the group basically are rolling their eyes and got the look on, the blank look on their face. Like, really? Like, not impressed. Moving forward. Kenya is in her feelings. And when she shows up with the girls, and to be quite honest with you, I don't feel bad for Kenya. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. But I don't feel bad for Kenya. I don't. And if you listen to my last review of about Kenya, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. But I don't feel bad for her. I just don't. I feel like she manifested exactly what she got. And that's why you got to be careful what you say. And you also have to give so you can receive. And Kenya does not, I've never seen Kenya to show genuine true love. It's always been calculated, or a tit for tat, or even exchange, or transaction. I don't know. Like, I can't. I don't know what to say. All right. So then moving forward, we got Portia delicately confronts Eva about the shade that she threw. And Eva has what I like to call George W. moment, because she doesn't recollect throwing shade and actively denies saying anything, which is very common for Eva to do that. And they try to make it seem like that in the moment Eva is so upset that she just goes off popping off at the mouth, and then when she's not upset, she don't feel like that no more. And I feel like that's just the lack of control of emotions and not thinking before you speak. That's fixable. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. Like, I just don't get it. And Eva, I like to think she suffers from SML, shady memory lapse, because every time she throws shade at somebody, she can't ever remember nothing. So that's what she got, SML. You know what I mean? And then you got Cynthia over there co-signing for Eva, trying to explain her memory loss, which is what I was just saying about, she be in the moment and be really upset. And that was Cynthia who was saying that. That's where I got that from. And Cynthia decides to take that opportunity to confront Kenya and, shares with her about, how she thinks that, after talking to Mark, that, what were her intentions, and questioning her intentions and saying something like that. And Kenya makes it seem like she had a premonition, which we all know after now, by now that's not the case. But at the moment, that's what she wanted to be, which is something she also said to Mark and on the way to dinner, and I talked about that in the last review too, and how she said she made it seem like she just kind of had a feeling or whatever. And we all know that that's not what happened, because Candy gave her a heads up, which is exactly when Candy butts in after Kenya says that. And Candy's like, but I told you, basically, that it might be the night that Mike is going to propose to Cynthia. And so Kenya defends her feelings towards Cynthia and how she's like, she's her ride or die, and that she didn't say it to ruin the moment. And even goes as far as saying that if that is even what you think, like, I couldn't even show my face. And it's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't believe that. But I feel like Kenya doesn't know how to be a good friend. I feel like she doesn't know that. And I talk about that too, when it comes to about Kenya a little bit, you know what I mean? Because she wasn't shown how to be loving and nurturing. She was denied by her mother, you know what I mean? And so now she's a mother herself. So we can only pray that she naturally does that with her own child, other than, because especially now, considering the fact that she's competition to her own child. So I can only imagine, it's almost like, is this history repeating itself right before our eyes? And maybe this is what her mom went through and why her mom denied her. I don't know. It's interesting to see, but I guess we're going to find out. And next thing you know, Nene walks in and scene. All right, so this is your homegirl E. Reed. That is it for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 9. And I'm going to be back with the next episode that's coming on. And I'm going to talk to y'all later. Make sure you watch and listen to my 2 cents, because you typically follow-up videos that is more on my opinion that is not in the review segments. So there you have it, and I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I thank y'all for the support. If you're watching or listening on YouTube, on Reality TV, I appreciate it. If you are listening to me on Spotify or any other music platform, I appreciate it. Thank you. Give me some feedback. talk to me, I talk back. I love you. I'm gonna talk to you later. Bye.